Hey guys, it's Beant, and welcome back to my little advice corner. I hope you all had a wonderful day, I hope you all had a wonderful week, and I hope you are able to take a fresh perspective, a clean plate into the next week, and make it a great one. We're gonna hop right into our question of the day in a second, but first, you're gonna have to hear me out. See, what we're going to talk about today stems off of one of the joke questions that I got. One of the first questions that was submitted to the Google form was, how do I make a blue hedgehog fall in love with me? Now, obviously, that's about Sonic the Hedgehog. And if you're out there watching this, listening right now, I'm rooting for you. Chili dogs and going fast for the rest of your life is not for the faint of heart. So you go, girl. But specifically, what I want to use this opportunity to talk about is something that gets asked all the time in my stream chat. There's always people out there talking about their romantic escapades, and they always want advice. What should I do? What gift should I give? What am I doing wrong? And I never feel like I have a very good answer. So you know what? Let's take a minute and let's talk about it. See, I have a bit of a unique perspective on love and romance at this point in my life because if anyone does not know, in December of 2023, I exited what was a 6-year-long relationship. And for any math whizzes in the chat, when I was 24, that ended. So that means that that relationship spanned my entire adult life up to that point. And it was hard to get over. Now I know I'm not the only person that's had this experience. In fact, there's probably people listening to the video right now that have experienced something really similar. And if you're out there, my condolences, because getting over it was terrible. When you commit to something for that long, especially in early adulthood, you start to lose yourself. You just believe that it's going to be like that forever, and you miss out on some core aspects of becoming an adult that you just hadn't thought to do. For instance, leaving that relationship, I had to figure out who I was. I was in it so long, I had so closely intermingled being in a relationship with my personality that I didn't know what about me was mine, I didn't know what was hers, I didn't know who I was, in the most dramatic way to say it. But it's true. I allowed my relationship to define who I was for a really long time, and so when I got out of it, I had to go through a very long process of making myself a better person before I could ever think about romance again. It sucks to hear, but just jumping into something new because it's nice and because it makes you feel good is never the answer. You have a lot of growing to do after you exit a relationship of any length. If it was 6 months, if it was a year, if it was 2, if it was 6, you have a lot to think about. And if you think about it the right way, it's kind of exciting. I took about a year and a half to myself and just kind of became better. I am a vastly more complete person than I was at the beginning of that time. And through that healing process, I actually discovered a lot of stuff about myself. One thing that I've completely changed my opinion on is there is a very common phrase between people who are in relationships, people who think they're in love, and maybe they are in love. Sometimes it's very cute, and sometimes not so much. They say, they complete me. I'm looking for someone who completes me. And I have turned the corner on this phrase. It's very sweet, it's very cute, and sometimes, when used correctly, it can be very meaningful. However, you need to be complete yourself. You are nobody's project, and nobody out there is your project to take on. You need to find what makes you truly happy, what makes you tick, the things that you love, the things that you're good at, before you ever decide to make a romantic gesture towards somebody. It's one of those things where I wanted to jump back into it after I thought I had healed, after I thought I was over my past relationship. And I took a long look in the mirror and said, I'm not good for anyone right now. Someone could make me really happy, but I don't know if I have the capacity to make them happy while also being happy myself. And that hurt. That felt terrible. I'm a horrible, hopeless romantic. I love grand romantic gestures. I love planning dates. I love giving gifts. Everything about being in a relationship sounds like something that I would absolutely adore. But sometimes it's just not for you at that moment in time. When it is time for you, I'm going to say this once, you will never know. You will never see it coming. That is not how true love works. It will hit you when you least expect it, you will not be looking for it, and it will be the truest joy that you have felt. The biggest question that I get all the time in stream chat is someone wondering, how do I get people to like me? How am I supposed to get someone to be romantically interested in me? And it's a hard question, but it's got a really easy answer. Be yourself. Now hold on, put down the pitchforks because I know literally everybody says that. Everywhere you look, it's people saying, be yourself. If someone truly loves you, then they'll love you for you. And none of those people are lying. They're not. We are all riddled with insecurity. I don't like how I look. I don't like how my voice sounds. I don't think I'm very interesting. That is why you need to find happiness outside of romance. These things matter so little when we are experiencing the things that we love and doing what we're great at. If someone sees you doing what you love with a huge smile on your face and the most earnest attitude you can bring to the table, they are going to love you for you. I'm of the firm belief that there is truly someone out there for everyone. Even if you think your hobbies are too nerdy, even if you don't love the way you look, even if you talk with a lisp and you hate it, don't give up hope. Because the hottest thing that you can be is you. From a horribly single man to a horribly single audience, I hope at least something in there meant something to someone out there. Thank y'all so much for listening. Again, if you would like to be featured on next week's episode, drop something into the Google form in the description. If you need advice, if you've got a question, if you've got a grievance or anything like that, drop it in and I'll give it a read and see if I've got an opinion on it. Spoiler alert, I've got opinions on a lot of things. I will see you next week, same time, and peace.